What is up, guys? My name is Keggernaut, but just call me Kegg, and you guys wanted some Brewmaster stuff, and I promised some Brewmaster stuff, so I think I'm going to bring you guys some Brewmaster stuff. This is actually going to be the quick and dirty guide for how to tank with a Brewmaster Monk in Legion. Now, they have gotten a complete overhaul in the past expansions. They completely changed right now in Legion, so hopefully this guide helps you out. This is mostly a beginner guide. It is quick and dirty, so just bear in mind if you guys are one of those more experienced Brewmasters. A lot of this stuff should be perfectly fine. So let's get right into it. Our main abilities: Tiger Palm. This is going to be one of our main sources of energy dump. We're going to need to prioritize Keg Smash, obviously. That's one of our main abilities. But in order to not cap out on energy, we need to be using Tiger Palm. Additionally, every time that we use Tiger Palm, it's going to reduce the cooldowns of all of our brews, specifically Fortifying Brew, Iron Skin Brew, and Purifying Brew, by 1 second. With artifact traits, it has a chance to go up to 2 seconds. Keg Smash is our hardest hitting ability. We're going to want to press this on cooldown, and additionally it's going to reduce the cooldown of our brews by 4 seconds, and when we use Keg Smash, it's going to put a debuff on the target, drenching them in brew. When they are drenched in brew, that's when we're going to want to take advantage of Breath of Fire. Breath of Fire is going to do some AoE conal fire damage right in front of us, and then if they are drenched in brew, it's going to apply a damage over time for a few seconds. Now, with some artifact traits, when they are under the effects of that debuff, that dot, we are going to be taking up to 6% less damage from anybody affected by that debuff. So it's nice to have. It's also really important to maintain that debuff as much as you can. Stagger is actually the main way that Brewmasters function. They take a portion of all damage up front, and then they take a remaining amount of damage as a dot over time. So quick math right here: if you're sitting at 50% stagger and you get hit for 1 million damage, that means that you're going to take 500k to the face right away, and it's going to affect your HP bar, and then the remaining 500k is going to be applied as a dot that does damage over time for 10 seconds, right? Stagger is very important to note, does not reduce our damage taken. All it does is spread out the damage that we take over time. We take a lot of damage as a Brewmaster. They take a lot of damage as tanks. Their main focus is to smooth that damage income, not to specifically reduce that damage. Iron Skin Brew is actually going to increase how much damage we can stagger at any given time. Baseline, we have 40% stagger as a Brewmaster. Iron Skin Brew provides us with an additional 40%, totaling out to 80% stagger, and that's not hard to maintain a high uptime on this. So you should generally have 80% stagger for at least 90% of the fight. It really isn't that hard to maintain. Purifying Brew, though, is actually the way that we're going to reduce our damage taken. Purifying Brew is going to remove 50% of all the damage that we have collected on our stagger dot. So if we are taking 60% in our health every 10 seconds, then that means that once we purify that, it's actually going to remove half of it to only 30%. Now let's go into the spells and talks about some other ones that we haven't covered yet. Blackout Strike is actually a pretty hard-hitting ability. It's up every 3 seconds. You just press this on cooldown, and it's also, with some artifact traits, going to reduce the next auto attack that an enemy does to you by around 6%. Then when we go down here, we have Expel Harm. When we summon our healing spheres that are going to just obviously just heal us, we could manually walk over them, but if we're not in range, we could just use Expel Harm and suck them all up right away. It basically works like Soul Cleave from A Vengeance Demon Hunter, but it doesn't do damage and it costs a lot less. It's just going to suck it all up and give you that nice juicy heal. Exploding Keg is our artifact ability. 1.25 minute cooldown. Is going to throw a keg at the floor, doing a lot of fire damage, and then everybody affected by Exploding Keg is going to miss all of their melee attacks for the next 3 seconds, effectively giving you almost complete immunity to damage for the next 3 seconds from melee attacks. Obviously, you're going to still be taking stuff from stagger, but really this is really powerful in dungeons. Fortifying Brew, 7-minute cooldown. This is our main defensive ability. It's going to turn our skin to stone for 15 seconds, increasing current and maximum health by 20%, increasing damage we delay with stagger by an additional 20%, and reducing all damage we take by 20%. Also, we have Provoke. That is our taunt. We have Spearhand Strike, which is our interrupt. And then we additionally have Zen Meditation, which is another cooldown that we have, reducing all damage that we take by 60% for 8 seconds on a 5-minute cooldown. Moving, being hit by a melee attack, or taking another action will cancel this effect, so you got to make sure when you want to use this at the right times. Celestial Fortune is a very important passive. It works with our crit rating, so you have a chance equal to your critical strike chance to be healed for an additional 65% of the amount healed. So if we get healed for 100k, then we have chance equal to our crit. So if I have 27% crit right now, then that means I have a 27% chance to get an additional 65k out of that 100k heal. So it's just going to heal us for more, basically. Gift of the Ox. Every time that we take damage, we have a chance to summon a healing sphere visible only to us, and moving through that healing sphere is going to heal us. Mastery, Elusive Brawler. Each time you are hit by a melee attack, you gain a stacking dodge chance until your next successful dodge. This will also give us attack power. So I have 25% dodge right now. If I get hit by an attack, I'm going to get 1 stack of this buff, and that means that I have 25% dodge chance. If I get hit again by a melee attack, I'm going to have 50% chance, and then 75, and it's going to keep stacking up until I successfully dodge. It's going to then, once I dodge, it's going to reset the amount of stacks, and it's going to keep climbing until I dodge again. It's pretty reliable, although, dodge is not that great, but whatever. That's our mastery. Now, going over stats, since we're talking about mastery, crit already does what I said. It's going to increase the amount of damage that you can do and the amount of healing that you can do, and then also Celestial Fortune can proc and give us that extra bonus healing when we are healed, whether by ourselves or by an external source like a healer. Haste is going to reduce our global cooldowns. It's going to reduce our cooldown on Keg Smash, Blackout Strike, and our Brews. Very important. Mastery, I've already just mentioned that. That's the stacking dodge chance. Versatility, you guys know what that does. And then there's Leech, Dodge, and Parry. There's really no specific stat priority. A lot of places are going to say to get your haste up to 30%, and then mastery and crit are kind of equal, so just grab whatever you can. I say that's not entirely true. I've been having some pretty good success, and I'm only sitting at around 20% haste. There's been Brewmasters that have relatively low haste and high crit and mastery, and they're doing fine. There's also Brewmasters that have high haste and relatively low crit and mastery, and they're also doing fine. But generally, the best bang for your buck is just to try and get an average, all of your secondary stats as close as possible. So you're going to want to have, let's say, with the stats I have, I want 23% crit, 23% haste, and 23% mastery. I think that'd be an equal amount, and I would be perfectly fine with those stats. And I'm also working perfectly fine with the stats I have now. So if it's an item level upgrade for you guys, basically just take it. Really, there's no reason why you shouldn't. Everything is good for us. Now, talking about gear, we have a lot of good legendaries, but as always, the neck piece, Pride as, Synidaria, the waist, and also Sifu's Secret is also just horrible. Really, if you get them, I'm sorry. But the headpiece, Zen Meditation, now lasts through 3 melee attacks. Not that great, but it's whatever we can make do. The chest piece, every time we use Keg Smash, the remaining cooldown of Breath of Fire is reset. Actually, I believe this is best in slot. The waist piece, Purifying Brew, instantly heals you for 25% of the purified stagger damage. Also, I believe this could be best in slot. The feat, each enemy you hit with Breath of Fire reduces the cooldown of Fortifying Brew by 1 second up to a maximum of 4 seconds. In dungeons, this is absolutely best in slot. Finger, increases your duration of stagger by 3 seconds. This looks good on paper, but it's not that great in practicality. If this was 5 seconds, it'd be a little bit more competitive, but it's not that great. Really, the chest piece is absolute must-have all the time. It's going to have almost entire 100% uptime of the Breath of Fire debuff on your targets, so you should have that 6% less damage taken all the time. In raids, I would definitely suggest having this waist, which is going to heal you for your Purifying Brew, and then in dungeons, I would definitely have the feet. If you are open to having the feet and the chest, definitely run those in dungeons, because you're just going to have so many Purifying Brews, guys. Not Purifying Brew, Fortifying Brew, my bad. You're going to have so much of that, you're just going to be unkillable. It's really, really crazy. So, talents, I almost missed over that. Chi Burst for dungeons for AoE, Eye of the Tiger for pure single target. Row 30, I like Tiger's Lust, but you can pick any of these and you'll be fine. Row 45, I think light brewing is okay. Black Ox Brew, you can get a little bit more brew charges out of it over the course of a fight, and definitely it's worth picking if you're more of an experienced brewmaster, although really light brewing does the job perfectly okay. Gift of the Mists, don't pick this, it's not that great, it's not going to do that good for you. Row 60, Leg Sweep for days, although the Black Ox statue does have its place in the Mythic Plus affix where you actually lose threat as a tank. That can help to pick up those ads so they don't attack your friendlies, although Leg Sweep definitely does the job as well. Row 75, Healing Elixirs, the other two aren't doing that great, definitely pick Healing Elixirs. Row 90, I like Rushing Jadewind for dungeons just because it's another way to just generate threat on ads. Special Delivery does do more damage though, and in raids that's definitely the one to go for. Nizao right now is not doing as much as it could be. Row 100, I've been running Elusive Dance recently. I definitely like it. I've been running High Tolerance and I like it, and I've been running Blackout Combo and I like it. Elusive Dance probably has a better chance to actually give you more bang for your buck in dungeons because it's going to give you the extra dodge chance and extra damage done. But having that more damage that you could actually purify off of your stagger is definitely important in raids. But generally, in raids, you'd probably be better with High Tolerance or Blackout Combo. High Tolerance, if you're just taking so much damage that you can't maintain Iron Skin Brew and keep purifying to just keep low on stagger damage, then sitting at those high levels of stagger is actually not going to be that bad with High Tolerance because you have the higher stagger value already, making it 50% and then up to 90% with Iron Skin Brew. And then since you're sitting at high levels of stagger, you're going to have up to 15% haste, which just makes it easier to manage. And then if you're one of the experienced Brewmasters, then you could definitely run with Blackout Combo, and arguably is probably the best talent if you know how to play correctly. If you are not playing correctly with Blackout Combo, you're actually doing yourself a disservice, and you're not going to get as good of a benefit out of it. If you're playing suboptimally, do not pick Blackout Combo. It's much better for you to choose High Tolerance or Elusive Dance. But to show you guys how to play, let's actually switch to High Tolerance real quick. And you're basically going to open up with Iron Skin Brew, Keg Smash, Blackout Strike, Breath of Fire, and then Tiger Palm to maintain below 100 energy, and then you just kind of just keep your brews off of having 4 charges, and then just keep putting Blackout Strike, Keg Smash, and Breath of Fire on cooldown as much as possible, and just maintain your brews like that. Now for Blackout Combo, once I get out of combat I can show you guys how to use that. You're going to want to prioritize Blackout Combo on every Keg Smash and every Breath of Fire as much as you can, although definitely Keg Smash over everything else. So you're going to want to Iron Skin Brew, Keg Smash, Blackout Strike, Breath of Fire, Tiger Palm, Blackout Strike, Purifying Blue, Tiger Palm, Blackout Strike, Keg Smash, Tiger Palm, Blackout Strike, Breath of Fire, Purifying Brew, Blackout Strike, Tiger Palm, and then Keg Smash. I didn't time it right there. You see, I didn't get the buffed up Keg Smash. So it's a little bit hard to play. Definitely Blackout Combo works very, very well with high levels of haste, but it does okay with, lower levels of haste too. But really, that's the end of the guide. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, please leave a comment, and please share the video around, and please subscribe for more Brewmaster content in the future. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.